I've just seen one of the most cowardly, dishonourable acts from one boxer to another at a press conference that I've ever seen. But obviously, I understand the method to the madness and it seems to have worked. Chris Eubanks Jr. smashed an egg in the side of the head of Conor Ben in that press conference yesterday. And I thought this was just terribly cowardly in my opinion. We all know the situation where Conor Ben failed the drug test and the WBC said it had something to do with eggs and the egg talk was going around, even though Conor Ben himself said, don't listen to the WBC, that's a load of rubbish. It ain't got nothing to do with eggs because I never took no drugs in the first place. And it's nothing to do with no contaminated eggs or whatever you want to say. I ate 500 eggs and it's come up in its chemical imbalance or whatever. It's not the case. I ain't got no drugs in my system, whatever, whatnot. He went on to fight the case for over 2 years, whatever, whatnot. And we're back here to the fight. And it's going to happen now. The Sheikh's come in and paid the man them to have the fight. They had the press conference. Eubanks Jr. was cutting Eddie left, right and centre. Weren't letting him talk.
There's been some ups and downs, ebbs and flows. There was a time when I thought we'd missed the boat on this fight. As we sit here now, knowing this fight is 100% going to happen, how are you feeling?
I can't believe it. I mean, I couldn't believe it the first time around. And, you know, we got to a stage, the fight was announced.
Eddie,
it was the...
You know I don't like you, right?
I don't know.
So, if you know that, what on God's sweet green earth makes you think I'm going to sit here and listen to any of the bollocks that you have to say
To be honest, I mean, you're going to have to.
No.
You are?
We're not. We're going to have some parliamentary procedure here today.
Okay. Well, one thing's for sure, you ain't no prime minister.
And we're going to skip past whatever bullshit it was you thought you was going to talk about, and we're going to continue on with the press conference. Ade, you may proceed.
So as I was saying, Ade...
No,
you get your turn.
This is not the Eddie Hearn show.
One thing's for sure, it ain't the Chris Eubanks show.
This is not the Eddie Hearn show.
No.
This is Eubank versus Ben, so you can either sabotage this...
You've got your man to your right, he's going to say a few words.
You can either sabotage the event, and I'll just start talking to Ben personally, directly, or you can be quiet and we can move on with the press conference. I don't want to hear anything you have to say.
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
We can be here all day.
I've been addressed.
We can be here all day.
I've been addressed.
I don't want to hear what you have to say. So,
well, to be honest with you, many people do.
Ade,
I think I'm more popular than you.
Ade, if you want to control the situation and move forward, you can.
I'm enjoying this. This is almost like a mini face-off.
So how would you run the press conference, Chris? Because you're such an unbelievable promoter.
I'm not running it, but I'm just not listening.
So what happens now?
We move on.
What, you talk?
I'd love to talk, but if not me, somebody else.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Conor Ben. How are we feeling about smashing this geezer to pieces April 22nd?
You're not talking, Eddie. Shut up. You get on my nerves. Shut your mouth, Eddie. This ain't the Eddie Hearn show. Where tear. Eddie did stop talking for a little while until the host asked him a question and he went to answer the question. Eubanks Jr. went to cut him off again.
One thing I do want to address, and let's address it in public now, is the rehydration clause. Where are we on this? I don't know who to address here, but if I'm going to Ben or Eddie, where are we on this rehydration cap? Ben.
Look, it wasn't something that we expected. It wasn't something that was agreed. I think the first fight, the weight limits, the rehydration, it got a lot of controversy in it, and it wasn't right. This was something that was added in last minute. It's something that we'll deal with. Chris is a professional, and he'll make it the way he should. But it's not something you typically see in boxing. Not at this limit, not on the day. And it's just another thing that puts a bit of a downer on the event. When at the end of the day, this is an unbelievable event for British boxing, and it wasn't agreed until 24 hours before a contract was signed.
Okay, there you go. Eddie, any response to that?
No, I think...
Eddie doesn't get a response. I've made it very clear that Eddie is not...
One thing I'll tell you, because you better get some better people working for you, son.
It was a funny little press conference. It got emotional from the promoter, Eddie Hearn, and Chris Eubanks Jr. Chris Eubanks Jr. talking about, I hate you, Eddie Hearn, and stuff like that. That's all good. That's fine. It's selling the fight. Let's sell the fight. Then they have the head-to-head, and he takes a egg from his inside pocket and smashes it on the side of Conor Ben's face. Now, it wasn't soft. It was very hard. He basically slapped him in his face with the egg. If fragments of eggshells had got into Conor Ben's eye, that's it. The fight's off. Even if he had hit him and injured him somehow, the fight's off. It was stupid in my opinion. Obviously, he could have done it. It could have been softer, but it couldn't have been softer because he had to do it quick. And in order to get it in quick, there's got to be a bit of force in there. My dad said he should have just taken a box of eggs and handed it to him. That would have been funnier. My dad's a madman, but whatever. I thought it was a stupid thing to do, but it's definitely got the attention of the American audience because there's a lot of American boxing YouTube channels that are talking about it, and it's going off on boxing Twitter. I can see a lot of Americans talking about it and getting jokes from it, and it seems like it's caught their attention. So I suppose the intention has worked, but this fight is a dead fight, man. This fight is a dead fight. It's stupid, man. Conor Ben hasn't achieved anything in the welterweight division, let alone in any other division. And Chris Eubanks Jr. has had a career that's coming to an end, basically. So you know it's a money grab. That's fine. It's a money grab. But don't try and make it more than what it is. For me, it's a dead fight. This is the worst fight Turki Al-Sheikh has put on. And then he said something about the winner of this fight gets to fight Canelo. Who wants to see any of these two fighters fight Canelo? Canelo's in a whole different stratosphere to these two guys. Canelo's the premiership. These two guys are the championship at best. Canelo's the NBA, and them man there are like the G League at best. It's rubbish. Get out of here, man. Ridiculous notion. I would not want to see any of these two guys fight Canelo Alvarez. So stop with that. I hope Turki Al-Sheikh is only joking about that, because I don't want to see that rubbish. That would be the next worst fight he's put on after this, because this is the worst fight he's put on. Well, I suppose it's a money grab, innit? The UK fans are going to go crazy and buy it, and the American fans seems to have caught on and seem to be interested in what's going on now. Because these two guys have no beef. Their dads had the beef and they settled it, whatnot. They've created a beef and now they have their own internal beef because of what happened leading up to the previous fight with the weight clause and all of that weight restriction rubbish. I agree with Chris Eubanks Jr.'s dad. This fight should not be happening. Chris Eubanks Jr. is depleting himself just to get his last payday and putting himself at danger because they've put in a weight restriction. And this guy normally blows up at least 14 pounds after he weighs in. And that's just naturally just through water and a little meal. Now they're saying he can't weigh in no more than 7 pounds over 160. So they're still putting weight restrictions on. This is, for me, it's the most stupidest fight to make ever. Conor Ben, you called out Chris Eubanks Jr. Go up to his weight and fight him. You don't need no weight clause. This ain't for no title. You're not fighting for the WBC or the IBF. The IBF do same day weigh-in where you have to weigh no more than 10 pounds over the weight that you were when you weighed in for the fight. This ain't no title fight at all. There should be no weight restrictions. Crawford's going up to fight Canelo, going up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo at Canelo's weight with no rehydration clause involved. That's challenging yourself. That's warrior business. This is just a glorified exhibition fight, in my opinion. I do not care about it. You know? But this gave me joke in the press conference. He bust the egg in my man's head and I thought, you're such a coward, man. You're such an idiot for that. But it's your business. You do your thing, and obviously you don't care about my opinion, but, you know, have fun with yourself. Have fun with yourself and get your last payday. Hopefully you retire after this, Chris Eubanks Jr. And hopefully Conor Ben retires after this as well, because I don't rate him either. You are both... Anyway, we'll talk more about this as the fight date gets closer and closer. I'll do more videos about my disdain and my disgust in this particular fight. I'll see you guys in the next video.